Have you ever looked at someone successful and quietly asked yourself, why isn't that me? You see someone living the life you dream about, someone who built the business you wish you had, someone who achieved the success you've been chasing for years. And deep down, you wonder, when will it finally be my turn? Maybe you've been trying for months. Maybe you've been trying for years. You've worked hard. You failed. You've started again. And sometimes you feel tired. You feel frustrated. You begin to wonder if your dream is taking too long. But today, I want you to think about something. How long are you willing to wait for the life you truly want? Because success doesn't always come when you want it. Sometimes it comes after you've waited longer than you ever imagined. There was once a young man named Daniel. Daniel had one dream. He wanted to become a successful writer. Ever since he was a child, Daniel loved stories. He believed that one day, his words would inspire thousands of people. So he started writing. Every morning before going to work, he woke up early and he wrote. At night, after a long and exhausting day, he opened his old laptop and he wrote some more. For months, he worked on his first book. Finally, after almost an entire year, he finished it. Daniel was excited. He believed this was the beginning of everything, the beginning of his success, the beginning of the life he had always imagined. So he sent his book to publishers. And then he waited. 1 week passed. No response. 2 weeks. Nothing. A month later, Daniel received his first rejection. The dream he had carried for years was suddenly facing its first wall. He was disappointed, but he didn't quit. He sent his book to another publisher. Rejected, then another. Rejected again. One after another. 10 rejections. 20. 30. Each rejection felt like someone was whispering the same thing into his mind. You're not good enough. Maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you should stop trying. And slowly, Daniel began to believe them. His friends began to notice. One evening, his closest friend sat across from him and asked, Daniel, why are you still doing this? Daniel looked at him. Because I believe I can do it. His friend paused. Then he asked a question that Daniel wasn't prepared to answer. But how long will you wait? How long? How many more rejections could he take? How many more months could he spend chasing a dream that seemed to be going nowhere? That night, Daniel sat alone in his room. His rejection letters were scattered across the desk. His laptop was closed. His dream suddenly felt very far away. And for the first time, Daniel thought about quitting. Maybe his friend was right. Maybe it was time to accept reality. Maybe some dreams were simply never meant to come true. Daniel closed his laptop. I'll stop tomorrow, he whispered. But before he went to sleep, something caught his attention. Inside an old drawer, he found a notebook he had written in as a child. He slowly opened it, and on the first page was a sentence written in his younger handwriting. When I grow up, I want to tell stories that make people believe in themselves. Daniel stared at those words, and suddenly, he remembered the boy he used to be. That boy didn't care about rejection. He didn't care about failure. He didn't ask, how long will it take? He simply believed. And that's when Daniel realized something. He wasn't tired of the dream. He was tired of waiting for the result. And there is a difference. Sometimes we don't give up because we no longer want success. We give up because we want success. Now, we want the reward before we finish paying the price. We want the harvest before we've planted enough seeds. Daniel decided to continue, but this time, he changed his question. He stopped asking, "How long until I become successful?" Instead, he asked, "How much can I improve today?" That question changed everything. He kept writing. He studied successful writers. He improved his skills. He accepted criticism. He rewrote his book. Then, he sent it out again. Another rejection. Then another. But this time, he didn't see rejection as the end. He saw it as information. Every no taught him something. Every failure made him better. Every difficult day made him stronger. Months passed. Then, one morning, something happened. Daniel received an email. A publisher wanted to meet him. His heart started beating faster. He couldn't believe it. After years of waiting, a door had finally opened. The meeting went well. And a few weeks later, Daniel received the news he had been waiting for. His book had been accepted. After years of waiting, the dream finally became real. But here's the most important part of the story. Daniel didn't become successful because he waited. He became successful because he kept working while he waited. And that's the lesson. You may be waiting for your breakthrough right now. Maybe you're building a business. Maybe you're working on your career. Maybe you're creating content. Maybe you're learning a new skill. Maybe you're chasing a dream that nobody else believes in. And you're asking yourself, how long will this take? I don't know. Maybe 6 months. Maybe 2 years. Maybe longer. But here's what I do know. If your dream truly matters to you, you cannot measure your journey only by how quickly you see results. A seed doesn't become a tree overnight. A mountain isn't climbed in one step. And a successful life isn't built in one lucky moment. It is built quietly, day after day, choice after choice, failure after failure. You might work for months and see nothing. You might create 10 videos and nobody watches them. You might apply for 20 jobs and receive no offers. You might start a business and lose money before you make any. You might try again and again and still feel like you're standing in the same place. But listen carefully. Don't confuse slow progress with no progress. Just because you can't see the roots doesn't mean the tree isn't growing. The biggest mistake you can make is quitting 5 minutes before your breakthrough. Of course, nobody knows exactly when success will come. That's the difficult part. You have to continue without a guarantee. You have to believe before you have proof. You have to keep moving. Even when nobody is clapping, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Don't let someone else's timeline make you ashamed of your own journey. Maybe you're not failing. Maybe you're being prepared. Maybe the rejection is teaching you something you need for your next opportunity. Maybe the delay is developing the patience you'll need when success finally arrives. So, don't quit just because it's taking longer than you expected. Your journey is not late. Your story is not over. You are still becoming the person you need to become. So, I want you to ask yourself one honest question. How long will you wait for success? Not how long will you wait while doing nothing. Not how long will you wait while complaining. But how long will you keep learning? How long will you keep improving? How long will you keep showing up? How long will you keep knocking on the door? Because maybe the life you want is closer than you think. Maybe you're not failing. Maybe you're being prepared. Maybe you're not being rejected. Maybe you're being redirected. So if you're still chasing your dream, don't stop now. You may be closer than you think. And if you have to start again tomorrow, start again. If you fail, learn. If you fall, get back up. If the door closes, knock on another. But whatever you do, don't give up simply because success is taking time. Your story is still being written. And maybe, just maybe, the next chapter is the one that changes everything. So tell me, how long are you willing to wait for the life you've always dreamed of? The clock is already moving. The question is not whether you have enough time. The question is, what will you do with the time you have left? Start today, keep going tomorrow. And one day, you'll look back and be grateful that you didn't quit. Music swells. Because sometimes, success isn't about how long you have to wait. It's about whether you have the courage to keep going while you wait.
If this story touched something inside you, don't just watch it and move on. Take a moment and ask yourself, how long will you wait for the life you've always dreamed of? If you're ready to stop waiting and start taking action, subscribe to this channel for more powerful stories, life lessons, and motivation to help you become the best version of yourself. And remember, your journey may be taking longer than you expected, but that doesn't mean you're failing. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and comment below, "I will not give up." Your dream is still possible. Keep going. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think.